Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. To all our focused learners tuning in, I am absolutely thrilled you're here. Look, the stock market can seem kind of intimidating, right? Like it's a closed club. Well, today we're going to take a really detailed, step-by-step look at some fantastic source material to completely demystify all of that. We're tackling this from two equally important angles. First, the actual practical nuts and bolts of opening a stock account, and second, the fascinating psychological mindset you need to truly generate wealth. We're literally breaking down all the barriers today, so get ready for a really insightful journey.
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We'll be covering safety in the market, 3 account types, choosing a brokerage, the psychology of wealth, and finally, a warning on crypto. Let's get to it.
Section 1. Safety in the market. Busting the myth of the runaway broker.
One of the biggest roadblocks for new investors is just pure fear. It's that paralyzing thought that you're going to deposit your hard-earned money and overnight the brokerage just vanishes into thin air. Well, let's put that to rest right now. The source assures us that legitimate brokerages are highly regulated official institutions. As long as the brokerage you choose is registered with the SEC, that's the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, and actively holds a license to trade on your behalf, your investments are legally protected. It is practically impossible for them to just pack up and disappear with your cash. Knowing this is basically your ultimate safety net. It gives you that mental peace you absolutely need to even start this journey.
Section 2. 3 stock account types, navigating your options.
So, now that we know our money is safe, how do we actually get in? The source provides a super practical guide here. What's really great is that your entry point depends entirely on your current life situation. For example, if you're currently earning a steady paycheck, you'd go for the standard account. Naturally, this one requires a bit more rigorous documentation like proof of income. But what if you aren't working a traditional job? Well, that's where the Sahula account comes in, and it's a real game changer. It's designed specifically for students and stay-at-home spouses, like housewives. It completely bypasses the proof of income requirement, making the market incredibly accessible for folks without a traditional salary. Now, that accessibility does come with one specific rule. There is a strict maximum balance limit of 1 million rupees, that's 10 lakhs, for a Sahulat account. If you make some brilliant trades and your total balance actually exceeds that 10 lakh mark because of your profits, you'll need to start pulling that money out. It's basically a structured limitation to keep the account functioning exactly as it was intended, as a safe starting point for beginners. And for the third account type, the source highlights something called the Roshan Digital Account. This is the designated gateway if you're an overseas Pakistani wanting to safely invest back home. The process is incredibly streamlined. You can easily open this account directly through the official websites of most major banks, and then you just select your preferred broker right from their portals. Easy as that. Regardless of which account you go with, there are some strict administrative requirements to create a secure paper trail. You'll need the basics: your CNIC, an active email, a mobile number, your IBAN, and standard verification stuff, like your mother's name and your date of birth. Oh, and for standard accounts, there's a strict 10-lock limit on raw cash deposits, just to ensure financial transparency. But listen up, because the absolute most crucial piece of advice the source delivers here is this: stick strictly to spot trading and avoid leverage entirely. Seriously, no way around it. The source firmly considers leverage to be essentially gambling. The logic is simple. If you can't make money using your own funds, risking borrowed money is just a recipe for disaster. Section 3. Choosing a brokerage. The power of proximity.
Okay, so you know the account types, but how do you actually pick a broker? The SECP has this massive A to Z list of registered brokers, but the source offers a really brilliant tactical tip. Find a local branch physically close to your house. Why? Because when it's your money on the line, a little paranoia is totally normal human nature. Going to a physical office in person, actually seeing the desks, the computers, the employees typing away, it gives you a profound sense of mental peace. You realize, okay, this is a real place. They can't just vanish overnight. And honestly, that mental peace is the perfect bridge into the second half of our explainer.
Section 4. The psychology of wealth, frequencies, energy, and your future self.
We are shifting gears now from the tangible mechanical stuff to the intangible psychological game of wealth creation. Because according to our source, your mental state has a massive impact on your financial reality. The source brings up this fascinating theory, even pointing out that Elon Musk has talked about this, that the human heart actually acts like an electromagnetic coil. Think of it like a giant magnet that actively pulls matching vibrational frequencies toward it. If you're constantly operating on a frequency of stress, fear, and negativity, well, you're going to attract more of that.
But if your internal belief system is tuned to opportunity and wealth, you literally draw those realities right to you. Your beliefs dictate your reality.
So how do we tune that frequency? The source shares a very specific, actionable morning gratitude routine. Before you let the stress of the day creep in, you mentally list out what you are thankful for. It doesn't have to be massive things. It can be your family, your pet cats, that first amazing cup of coffee, the warm bed you just slept in, or even just having a TV to watch. By starting your day anchored in gratitude, you are actively signaling to the universe that you see your blessings, and crucially, that you are ready to receive more abundance.
And this builds into a really incredible daily exercise. The source recommends actively mimicking your future wealthy self right now, today. Step 1, visualize them. What do they look like? How do they act? Then step 2, mimic their schedule. If your future wealthy self wakes up at 7 a.m. to conquer the day, you wake up at 7 a.m. right now, even if you absolutely don't have to. You sit down and you research investments. You copy their habits, maybe a 30-minute afternoon meditation to keep your head clear. By literally acting out the routines of success, you open your mind to new opportunities. And slowly, you'll start to watch your current reality transform to match that frequency. But to protect that new frequency, you've got to vigorously guard your time and who you hang out with. The source delivers this punchy, undeniable truth. If you sit with 4 losers, you will be the 5th. If you sit with 5 millionaires, you will be the 6th. Look, time is your most limited resource. You can't print more of it. Because of that, you absolutely must curate your circle and surround yourself with people who add value to your life and pull your mindset upwards. And hey, just as important as how others speak to you is how you speak to yourself. The source issues a really warm, empathetic plea here. Please, stop calling yourself dumb. Stop saying you aren't smart enough to figure out the stock market. Think about it. You would never let an enemy speak to you that way, right? So why in the world would you say it to yourself? Trading is a learned skill. Literally, no one is born knowing how to invest. You have massive, untapped potential, but unlocking it starts with acknowledging your own self-worth.
Section 5. A warning on crypto. The reality check on USDT and the rupee.
For the final portion of our explainer, we're taking a neutral look at how the source addresses cryptocurrency, especially with market shifts happening globally. The absolutely crucial point here is understanding the legal boundaries. The source issues a very strict warning. Converting Pakistani rupees to USDT through back-channel methods like Hawala is entirely illegal. It actively devalues the national currency and carries severe real-world consequences, including the risk of jail time. However, on the flip side, the source notes that if an overseas relative legally gifts you crypto directly to an exchange like Binance, that is a perfectly legitimate and acceptable route for you to trade. It is just absolutely vital to know the difference and stay strictly within the bounds of the law. And that brings us to our final thought for today. We've gone through the very practical mechanics of SECP-registered brokerages, and we've explored the psychological power of building an electromagnetic mindset. But the most important takeaway is what you actually do with all this. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Are you acting like your future wealthy self today, or are your current vibrational frequencies holding you back from your true potential? Really think about that as you take your very first steps toward mastering the market. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.